Welcome back, guys. Today we are headed out to do something a little bit different, which is why we have the van. We are actually headed out to do an estate clearance, something we don't do a heap of, but it is something we are looking to do a little bit more of as we head into the future. Because there has been a lot of conversations recently about how op shops and thrift stores are becoming harder and harder to source at. A lot of them have their own platforms, that a lot of them are looking at prices, and it is becoming a little bit more difficult to source at thrift stores. Not impossible, there are still ways of making money through thrift stores, but we're just trying to diversify our income a little bit. So I've got Jazz here with me, ready to go. Are you excited about our estate clearance today?
These days are always so interesting because we don't know what we're picking up, we don't know what quantity we're picking up, but we're going to give it a go.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I'm probably not going to be able to take you guys inside this house because obviously it's a deceased estate and we want to be respectful to the people that are left there, but I think what we'll try and do is show you what we're picking up and explaining how this deal is kind of working for us, because essentially all the stuff we pick up today is going to be for free, which is absolutely mind-blowing and definitely something that we are trying to get more and more into our business. Obviously, the cheaper you can buy stock, the better, and this is literally the cheapest you can get it.
It might help us to pay our bills, or we might just be helping them out by getting it out of their hair.
Yeah, so we're gonna start heading that way right now. We're gonna drop past the warehouse, pick up some supplies for the day, and then we're gonna head down south and see if we can clear out this deceased estate. All right, guys, we are in the warehouse and I need to pick up a whole bunch of these white bags down here to take down there to pack up all this stuff from the deceased estate. I think he said there's probably about 20 to 30 bags there that we need to pick up. So there's gonna be a lot of stuff there that isn't suitable for us, but I will talk through how we're going to get rid of that and monetize some of that stuff that isn't gonna be suitable for us on eBay in a second. Just loading up the supplies here, and I want to talk a little bit about what we're actually going to do with this stuff. So when we get stuff that we can't actually sell on eBay, we actually have a rag house that we send our stuff to, and they pay us per the kilo. So that's why this is probably going to work. Even if there isn't a lot of stuff there that is going to be sellable on eBay, I can sell it to the rag house on a kilo basis, and therefore we're still going to be making some money. Now, I do know there's a few things at this deceased estate that we're going to be grabbing that we've already organized to buy, and then everything else that's there is going to be free. So I do know there's some CDs and DVDs that we're getting for free. There's a whole bunch of clothing that we're getting for free, and there's a couple little bits and pieces that we will be paying for. So we're going to head down to that deceased estate now, try and show you what we are actually picking up and how we're going to deal with all this stuff. We'll probably do a little bit of a breakdown along the way and show you guys how much money we think we're going to make out of this little deceased estate, because it is something that we're trying out just to add a few more bows to our string, if you want to call it that. Because in reselling, you definitely need to be moving with the times. All right, the van's pretty full, hey?
She's been fuller.
We found probably half a dozen things that we'll be able to sell on eBay. Yeah, and then we've got like a box of DVDs and a couple cameras and stuff, so.
The most important thing at the moment is everything that comes into the warehouse, there has to be a strategy in place to get rid of it again.
Yeah.
If there's no plan for where it's going, we can't take it in. So all of this, we already know exactly how it's getting sold.
Yeah, so we'll take all this stuff to our rag guy, he'll pay us per kilo, and then there's a few things that we can list on eBay, we'll list on eBay.
We'll list on eBay, we'll list some of these DVDs, and we'll probably pass some of them on again.
Yeah.
I need a Powerade.
Yeah, we need some food. All right, we'll finish up here and head somewhere else, I think. All right, guys, we've pretty much loaded up the whole van from this deceased estate. There's only a couple boxes there that we'll be keeping. The rest will go to the rag guy. But we thought while we were down this way, we will head to Savers no longer, because we have not been there in ages. And it'll probably be a good experience to show you, maybe we find some stuff at Savers, maybe we don't. And this is why we're kind of looking at all these other options in our area. We've been doing a lot of different things to try and make sure we have stock coming through. And this is the newest one. So let's see what we can find at Savers, and hopefully there's a few things we can add to the day today. It's been a long time since we've been down here.
So long, and this used to be our spot.
Yeah, I feel like this Savers over here had better prices than the two that we go to now.
But did it have better stuff?
Yeah, I don't know, and it's been like probably like a good 3 years maybe since we've been down here.
We also don't have a donation. Well, we could donate something, but I don't think any of that was worth donating. No. It's in rag bags because it's rags.
Almost got run over.
That's fine. So no discount, we're paying full price.
Almost got run over again. Should probably stop filming on the road, hey?
1, 2, go.
All right, so we're gonna head into Savers here and see what we can find. Looks pretty familiar.
Oh, it's a different layout. I'm off my usual route.
Well, we don't really buy too much of this stuff anymore, so we probably don't need to be in this
I
section.
still like looking.
What do you got there?
Yeah, I'm not saying this has value, but am I getting better at spotting player issue stuff?
I'd have to have a closer look, but usually...
Because it's got just like different looking sponsors and it's
Yeah.
on a cotton on tag.
I'll have a look. What's that one?
I actually need to look this up. It just like felt good quality. Cycling.
Oh, Zumi's okay, yeah.
Yeah? It's only $7.50.
So interesting to see like the differences between the two stores. Like I just haven't had that like cool item. Like we've got
Waiting
one
for
thing
a
so far,
hit.
so
And it's like
borderline.
not amazing.
Yeah.
It's like, should we, shouldn't we?
Yeah, it's definitely not a banger, but
Are we just here on the wrong day?
Yeah.
Is this the standard?
just have to get used to those rotations. I mean, now we're rolling new racks, so
I love our local though.
we thought we were onto something here,
I thought it said $5.99.
but it's
It's $40. Not today, sir.
pass on that one. All right, so this just shows that not every thrift store is going to be amazing, and why it's so important to diversify, because diversify.
Diversify.
We only got one item for $7.49, but I can throw to some footage from a couple days ago where we did hit a decent amount at a thrift store. I think I've just found something good. Usually I probably wouldn't grab these. Like this one has been opened, but I just looked these up and I know that Trap Team is a better one. This one looks like it's brand new, and comps on these are like over 150 bucks, so that's a good find. Got a nice little pair of Merrills here, $23.79. They need a little bit of a clean, but they're in pretty good nick. What you just found?
I got really, really excited, and then I saw how expensive this is, but then I saw how expensive this is. So I'm back to excited.
Another good find, little Joseph Ribkoff for $11.49.
It's definitely a strange business that we're in where we don't know where our next stock is coming from, but that's just why we try and hit a whole range so that we can cover ourselves.
Yeah, so like the garage sale stuff, when it's garage sale season, it's a little bit cold for that right now. But having op shops that we go to on the regular, people that pull stuff out of like waste and also like recycling for us. And then obviously we're starting to get into some deceased estates now as well. So
Keeping our eyes on auctions, on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
You've got to be everywhere.
that guy almost hit our car just
We very
That was
nearly
crazy.
just had a...
But essentially, yeah, just having all these different options available to us that we can get stock from on the regular basis, because we never know if a thrift store is going to have anything good in it, and we can't rely on that to be our whole business. So I think that's the important part of this video, is having multiple different streams of not income, but sourcing stock coming into you, because you never know what's going to happen. And
Multiple sources of income is great as well.
yeah, I think a lot of people have been talking about how thrift store prices are increasing, and some of the stock's going to better places like their own websites and stuff like that. So trying to cut out the reseller a little bit, which is why it's so important to try and find ways of getting to the source of the stuff before it gets to the thrift store, so you don't have to worry about if the thrift store has it or not.
Always changing.
Yeah, definitely, and that's the game of reselling, unfortunately. Guys, it is now the next day. As you can tell, I had a little bit of a shave last night, so looking less like a monster. But essentially, I'm going to go through a little bit of a breakdown of what we picked up yesterday. So the stuff that we got for free for doing the work, and then the stuff we actually purchased as well that we knew we were going down there to buy. So I'll go through the stuff that we actually found first, and some of this is going to need some pretty serious cleaning, and maybe some of it we won't be able to sell. So the first thing we found was this little Alpine jacket coat. It got a bit of like a fake fur lining. That's a pretty nice jacket, but it is kind of a bit funny. It's got this like weird print on it. I don't know if it's like it's the way it's supposed to be, or if that's some sort of like, I don't know, moldy type situation. I don't really know. So we're gonna need to do really good clean on that one. This is a cool little woolen, pure wool jumper. That was quite a nice find. It's not a great brand or anything. It's only Tamar. It's made in Australia, but just the style I think is pretty good, and it doesn't look like it's had too much moth damage, so that was a nice little find as well. I found this little vintage Brisbane Broncos on a Nike tag. It does have a stain on it, so that's going to be quite hard to get off. And then just a couple older R.M. Williams button-up shirts, 2 of them there. They're quite nice finds. That's probably $40 to $50 each on those. And then we found some really dirty R.M. Williams as well. So they're going to need some wash, but they are vintage. So once we've washed them up and cleaned them up, there's probably about 40 to 50 bucks each on those. So that's 40, 50, the 2 shirts, probably another, let's say 100, 140, 210, and then the 2 jackets, we'll say 80 bucks. So 290 on that stuff so far. And then there was 2 cameras. So I did show these to the person when we were there. The little Nikon Coolpix, that's probably about 80 bucks at the moment. So what's that, 360? And then this random one here, I'm not really sure if there's gonna be much value in this. I don't know the brand, Racer or Petri Racer. I think let's call that one 50 bucks to be safe. It could be more than that. So I think we're up to about $400, which is not too bad really, considering we put in a couple hours work. Obviously, there's going to be some cleaning in this stuff. Maybe 1 or 2 of them won't actually come up good enough to resell. So I guess let's call it 300 to be super safe for a couple hours work. And then we also took that stuff to the rag guy. So I have his message right here. So that lot was 380 kilos that we took to him, and that worked out to about $75 coming our way as well. So I'm going to call that $475 for essentially a couple hours work at a deceased estate, which I guess isn't too bad. Obviously this has to go on to sell, and we have to clean some of this stuff up, and there was a lot of labor involved. I will say that I think that deceased estate, a lot of it was like not resellable, and maybe in future there'll be some stuff in the next one that is more valuable, and hopefully we'll get to share a bit more of that with you guys. But I want to share with you the stuff that we did pay for, the stuff that we already knew we're heading down there for, and the stuff we got contacted on to start with. Okay, first up we have 2 Akubra hats. One's a 56 and one is a 58. This is the R.M. Williams version of an Akubra, so they do like a little bit of a collab. I think both of those will go between 80 and 100, maybe 120 on the R.M. Williams one, so that's not a bad start on that. I will say we paid $300 for all this stuff, so once you guys see what's here, you'll probably understand why, but it is probably on the higher end of what I'd like to be paying for this type of stuff here as well. This one here is just a random brand. I think it's called Junberg. It's just like a fleece line jacket. I don't think that's gonna be worth much money, maybe 50 bucks if we're lucky. And same with this one here. I think too exciting with this one. Just a Rainway jacket. Rainway, I think it is. Oh, Rainman London. So just a nice like duffel coat situation, probably let's say 40 to 50 bucks on that one as well. Now we're starting to get into some nicer stuff. So a really nice Dryzer Bone jacket, oilskin. This one's called the Duster, is a size large, which is definitely going to help it. Oilskin jackets generally around 100, sometimes a little bit more if they're in really good condition and good sizing. Here's another nice jacket here. This one is another Alpine. This one here, I think is going to do a lot better than the other one. So comps I kind of found on Alpine anywhere from like 100 to 200. So that was actually a really nice pickup. And then 2 of our favorite things, obviously, R.M. Williams. These are a pair of like loafers, so not super popular, but they'll still sell for probably 40, 50 bucks. And then probably the find of the day, and the thing that I really was happy to pay up for, was this pair of men's Craftsman's. They're 11.5 R.M. Williams, obviously in pretty good condition. They need a bit of a sole cleanup, but apart from that, the leather isn't stretched or anything like that. So this will definitely pay for a good portion of that 300 bucks. These are probably 150 to 170, I'd say. Good size, 11.5, good condition. We might even get close to 200 on that. So $300 for that stuff, as I said, is probably on the higher end of what we'd like to pay. We'll probably turn that into about, I don't know, $600, I'd say, after fees and shipping. So happy with that day, and it was definitely interesting to get out there and try something brand new. And we're probably going to be doing a little bit more of this ongoing, so we'll try and share a little bit more of this journey with you guys. Because as I said at the start of the video, it is getting harder and harder to like solely rely on op shops. And we haven't been solely relying on op shops for, I don't know, a good couple of years now. We have a lot of connections in the community, and luckily that helps us get by each and every week. And we do buy in bulk and do bulk deals like you guys have seen as well. So I think it was an important little test for us today to get out there and check out this type of business, this deceased estate type of clearance, and really get our hands dirty and understand what that business is like. So I hope you guys have enjoyed coming along with us today when we went to the op shops as well. And we will see you next time on Aussie Thrifters. Bye for now.